Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary peoples. This is Bronson's By Any Means Necessary Fantasy Football Talk for Wednesday, September 21st. I'm going to do the quarterbacks, my spikes and yikes. Spikes and yikes at the quarterback position for week 3. But first, I'm going to do something that's been that just popped into my head earlier today, and I wanted to talk about it before I forget. I know that food delivery services are big these days. They've especially gotten bigger since COVID, and I now am a food delivery driver. And so I just want to give a couple of tips just to help people out, to help people kind of understand from the driver's perspective, because I used to be, a customer, and I kind of hated the system. But now that I'm a driver, I understand it. So I want to, I can see both perspectives. I have a unique perspective as a very prevalent customer, and now a driver. So my first tip here is to pre-tip. I know that, look, I understand that pre-tipping it is, it goes against everything we believe in, right? I personally, I think tipping culture needs to die. I think employers just need to pay better. But that's not going to happen, right? That's an ideal world, not going to happen. So, pre-tip. And you want to pre-tip, you want the pre-tip to be bigger than the distance covered. So let's say your driver is going 5 miles to deliver you your food, to pick up your food and deliver your food, total of 5 miles. My pre-tipping suggestion is to go $7. So get the driver's attention, because you're going to want the driver to pick it up. If it's a 5 mile trip and there's just the base pay of, I think it's $2.50 for Uber Eats is $2.50. I don't know how it is for DoorDash or anything else. $2.50, 5 miles for $2.50. Most drivers are going to ignore that. So your food's going to sit there. So pre-tip. And then here's my suggestion, because I know that you guys hate pre-tipping. Because if you're like me, you believe that tipping should be for services rendered, and not done before the service is rendered, right? But here's the thing: after your food is delivered, you have up to an hour to edit your tip. So, because the driver does not get it until an hour after the order is dropped off. So you have an hour to change it. So after your order gets dropped off, you should make sure to edit your tip. Like if your service was excellent, your driver was faster than you thought, or he went above and beyond, or he followed the directions, keep the tip the same, make it bigger if you feel like the service was worth that. Or if he was slow, the driver was rude, the driver forgot an item, forgot a drink, or whatever, what have you, didn't follow directions, whatever the case may be, lower the tip. And then the driver probably in most cases won't even notice. He won't even, because like I said, we don't get the tip. We don't see the tip till an hour later. So we're gonna forget what that order, what we were like. We're gonna forget about that order. We're gonna move on. We're gonna have done like 2, 3, 4 deliveries since then. We're not gonna remember how much you were tipping us if you decide to lower it, or even you be a jerk and take it all away. But you want to pre-tip just to get the driver's attention, to get your food picked up, and then you can change that. And another thing I wanted to let you guys know, those of you that watch, I know it's not very many, but the driver cannot see the note until it's actually picked up. So if you write in your notes, you will receive a cash tip upon delivery, the driver doesn't see that. So again, that's why you want to pre-tip. And then because if the pre-tip's big enough, the driver will pick it up, and then they'll read the note, and then they'll see cash tip upon delivery, and then they'll understand that maybe you're not going to get the expected pre-tip is going to go away, and you're going to get cash or what have you. Or if you have specific directions in the order. Like there was one time where this person wanted me to get extra ketchup packets or something, and so because when I accept the order, all I see is who the order's for and where I'm going and what the items are. So that's all I can see. So I go pick it up, and then once I pick up the order and say that the order has been picked up, and I click start, I slide, the thing just says start delivery, then I can see the notes of the customer. So if the customer is telling me that they want extra ketchup packets, I'm already on my way to them. I've already left, so I'm not going to turn around and get them extra ketchup packets. So they're going to miss out on that. So if you need extra ketchup packets, you need to let the restaurant know so they can put it in your order. Not the driver, because the driver will not, in most cases, or I will not turn around because I don't hit the start delivery thing until I'm in my car and on the road. On the road. So, because when I accept the order, I can see preliminary of which direction I need to go, where I'm going. So I'm already on my way there before I hit that start delivery thing. So I'm not going to turn around and get your extra ketchup packets. You're just going to miss out. So those are my two notes for you customers when it comes to Uber Eats and or food delivery services. All right, let's get to the quarterback stuff real quickly here. I'm pretty okay with this list, honestly. It's really not that bad, but I'm gonna nitpick it. Top five, pretty solid with the top five. The top five for the week, we got Josh Allen in Buffalo versus Miami at number 1. Number 2, we got Lamar Jackson at the Patriots. Number 3, we got Patrick Mahomes at the Colts. Number 4, we got Jalen Hurts at the Washington Commanders. And then number 5, we got Justin Herbert versus Jaguars. Justin Herbert is still questionable to play, but all indications, which I need to stop saying that because I said that about Alvin Kamara last week and he didn't play. All indications are that Justin Herbert's going to play. He had an extra 3 days to recover. He did tough it out and finish that game. So I mean, if he can deal with the pain, a half hour after it happened, he should be good to go 10 days after the fact. Because over 10 days, the pain tolerance will increase and the pain will subside in most cases over that course of time. So it's very beneficial for him that they played Thursday last week. It's almost kind of like you get a half bye week, an extra bye week in there when you play on Thursday because the Chargers played Thursday. They didn't practice again until Wednesday. So that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 5 days off. So that was like a mini bye week. So that gave him 5 days to rest and recover. I think he'll be good to go. Now for 6 through 10, Kyler Murray at 6 versus the Rams. Joe Burrow at the Jets at 7. Matthew Stafford at the Cardinals is number 8 and 9. We got Kirk Cousins versus the Lions. The Lions secondary is terrible. That's the only reason Kirk Cousins, after last week, is in the top 10 for this week. And I'm fine with him being top 10 for the week. I think he's going to have a good week. And then 10, we got Tom Brady versus the Packers. All right, so my yikes at the quarterback position for this week. A couple of issues with some guys in the 6 through 10 range. Let's talk about that. Kyler Murray at 6 versus the Rams. Kyler Murray has not played super well against the Rams over the course of his career, especially if you look at that playoff game last year. The Rams kind of have Kyler Murray's number, and the Cardinals' offense hasn't really been clicking yet this year, so I'm anticipating the struggles continuing. I know it's going to be hard to bench Kyler Murray, and I'm not saying you should. He's probably still going to be top 10, top 12 quarterback for the week. But temper your expectations a little bit. I don't think he's going to be a top 6 guy. 7, Joe Burrow at the Jets. I was really high on Joe Burrow coming into the season. I'm still high on Joe Burrow. I think the Bengals are going to figure it out. They're going to get the offensive line sorted out, and they're going to start clicking. And Joe Burrow is going to be a guy who is gonna, get better as season progresses. But I'm not super into him this week. The Bengals have been struggling, and that offensive line, despite all the money they spent on it, is still struggling. So it's hard to trust Joe Burrow as a top 10 quarterback this week when he's only number 15 so far through the first 2 weeks. I don't know if I'm gonna put him outside my top 10, but I'm definitely gonna. He definitely seems like a risky play. I think that I probably won't be starting him. And then at 10, Tom Brady versus the Packers. Tom Brady's looked like an old fart so far this season, and the Packers secondary is pretty good. That's the definitely the best part of the Packers defense. And so, plus he's down Mike Evans, he's down Chris Godwin, Julio Jones may or may not play, Russell Gage is banged up. They're going to be trying to incorporate Cole Beasley into the rotation. Scotty Miller could play. It's just hard to trust Tom Brady with the lack of weapons that he has currently, and with the way he's been playing through the beginning of this season. Tom Brady's made a career out of being able to focus on football and keep his personal life separate, but he seems to be struggling with that this year. He could be facing a divorce with his longtime wife, so it's got to be hard to keep that separate. And because we're all human, Tom Brady, despite popular belief, is human, and he's older. I think he's struggling with the duality of wanting to be a family man and wanting to play football. I think we saw that with his retirement and then non-retirement. So I think he's still obviously struggling with that, and he's having trouble keeping his personal life separate from his professional life, and it's causing him to struggle. I don't see any reason to think that's not going to continue against the strong secondary of Green Bay this week. So Tom Brady is outside my top 12 this week. Now for some guys outside the top 12 who could play their way into the top 12 or even top 10. I'm going to start with Tua at 14. This tripod is having issues tonight. I think it's because I got my phone bent back a little too far and a little too top heavy. All right, Tua versus the Bills. That could be a very high scoring affair given the Bills. Bills are just blowing people out. So Tua's going to have to throw the ball to keep up. And with those great wide receivers, those great pass catchers that he's got, we saw how explosive that Dolphins offense could be. I'm really excited for this game. I'm really excited to watch Josh Allen and Tua go at it against each other. I think Tua is going to have another big week. 16, Marcus Mariota of the Falcons in Seattle. He's back in the Pacific Northwest where he's had so much success in his life. And Marcus Mariota's off to a pretty decent start this year. Still not really, a quarterback that you should probably be, I don't know. I mean, I'm suggesting you stream him this week against Seattle, in Seattle. But I don't know if he's a guy that we can trust really in 12-team leagues moving forward. Definitely not trusting him in a 10-team league. Probably not starting him in a 10-team league. But in a 12-team league, if you've got some quarterback issues, like I do, Marcus Mariota might be a good call to get you some sneaky good points against Seattle this weekend. And then way down at 25, we got Jameis Winston. I think he's down there because he's questionable. I guess they think he's not going to play. But from all I've heard and read, the head coach Dennis Allen does think he's going to play. And if he does play, I think he's going to exceed the 25th ranking against a Carolina defense that, on paper, should be better than it is. The Carolina Panthers as a whole, on paper, should be a better team than they are. I guess they've kind of, players quit on coaches all the time. I guess maybe they quit on Matt Rule. And Matt Rule is clearly maybe not cut out for NFL head coaching. Maybe he needs to go back to college. There's some good jobs open for him. Nebraska would be a good landing spot. Arizona State's open if he wants to go out west and live in a place with good weather. Auburn probably going to be open. What's another one? Colorado. Colorado's probably going to be an open job. He's going to have no shortage of options because he was a very successful college coach. So it's basically just going to be about what job does he want. But anyway, I like Jameis Winston to exceed the 25th ranking. He's definitely in my top 20. Probably even top 15. I don't know if I'd put him in my top 12. I don't know if I'd start him this week because the injuries are definitely a concern. I guess he's playing through some back injuries, which is a major cause for concern. But he's played through them the first 2 weeks of the season. He's played well, well enough. I mean, I guess he did throw 3 interceptions against Tampa, but despite the interceptions, he's playing well. He's putting up good fantasy numbers. I don't see any reason why that wouldn't continue against Carolina on Sunday. So those are the 3 guys that I'm spiking this week who I think are going to exceed their ranking. Doesn't necessarily mean you need to start him, although I would probably start Tua. I will be starting Tua in the leagues I have him because I have him and Jameis Winston in one league, so I'm going to start Tua over Jameis. I have Tua. I actually just picked up Tua in a couple of leagues this week because I like the matchups. I like the matchups enough. I think I have him in Burrow. I don't know. That's going to be a tough question. Am I going to start Burrow or Tua? That might come down to the wire. I might not know till Saturday. See how I feel. I like to set my lineups based on gut feeling, and I usually go with my first instinct. My gut's not really leaning either way right now. So that's another reason. Like those of you who play with me, I like to empty my starting lineup out on Monday night and then do my waivers, and then I don't like to set my lineup till Saturday. It's just because one it helps me, it reminds me to set my lineup, because if I just leave it like it is, I get a little lazy, because I did that in week 1. I just, after I drafted, I just left my lineup, set it and forget it, and then I completely kind of forgot to change anything, and had some bad matchups there in week 1. And so what I like to do to remind myself to check my lineups throughout the week is empty it out, leave everybody on my bench until game time. So on Thursday and Saturday I'll go through and set my lineups. That way I 100% don't forget. See, I've been playing mind tricks on myself my whole life. Like I always ate, even when I was a little kid, I always ate the part of the food, the one that I didn't like the most, I ate first, and I saved the thing I wanted to eat most. I ate that last. I guaranteed that I ate everything on my plate, because there was no way I was going to eat all the shit and not the good stuff. So I ate all the shit first and the good stuff. I've been playing mind tricks on myself my entire life. And so that's how I do that for fantasy football. So yeah, the Burrow Tua question is going to be a tough one. Who else do I have? I have Tua with someone else. I don't remember. But I'll probably start Tua in most of those leagues, because if I'm picking up Tua in a league, it's because my quarterback play has been less than spectacular. So I'm adding the second one to play the matchups a little more than I anticipated. Oh, it's Derek Carr. That's what it is. Tua and Derek Carr. Yeah, I'm probably going to go Tua over Carr. Yeah. Because when you have a quarterback I trust, like Justin Herbert or Josh Allen or even Kyler Murray, when I have those guys, those are the only 3 stud quarterbacks I got this year. It was Herbert, Josh Allen, and Kyler. When I have those guys, there's no reason to carry a second one unless they get hurt. Or I guess this week, when Justin Herbert's kind of questionable, I think I picked up a backup in a couple of leagues, but I do think Herbert's going to play. And so, all right, well, 20 minutes. My video was way longer than I thought, but I just start talking and just don't want to stop because I just so passionate about this stuff, and I like to share the information. And I hope the Uber stuff is helpful to you if you use it or if you want to start using it. So hey, I'm not just a fantasy sports guy. I can help you with other aspects of life too. So peace, love, and nacho fries. I'll get to tight ends tomorrow, and then wide receivers, running backs at some point before Saturday. All right. Good night.